Blackburn Rovers back in action this coming weekend as we take on strugglers Middlesbrough. Will Carrick still be in a job, or will Carrick finally get things right? We're going to take a little look next. Looking forward to Rovers' home match, of course, following on from the international break, up against Middlesbrough at Ewood Park, and we'll get to that in just 1 second. If you're new, where you been, smash the old subscribe button back and say all things Rovers related, Championship related, world football related. We got it all here, boys, under one rooski. That's right, Rovers returning to action against struggling Middlesbrough with Carrick potentially only a couple of games away from the Saccarino, of course. I don't think they could put up with him much long, but guess what? Rovers are here to sort all your problems out. We'll take a look at it in a second. Of course, big shout out to my VIPs. They are the patrons, you know who you are. But anyway, let's get into it. Of course, preview the game, hopefully, right here on the channel. It is Rovers, it is Boro, it is at Ewood Park. It's the Mowbray derby. Even though Mowbray's not here, it's the Darren Lenihan derby. Who else? It's the Ainsley Pears derby, of course. Let's take a little look at, the Rovers setup. This is, of course, mainly aimed at you Boro fans. Of course, the coach, JDT, currently coming at you with a 1.65 points per match ratio. His record against Boro was okay, 50-50, won one, lost one. I think he won one with Wilder in charge, lost one with Carrick, of course, represented by that one result there. That one win, I think, or that one loss was at Ewood, and we'll talk about that shortly. Tyree Stolen, the most valuable player on the books, according to this, but of course, they know nothing. They know nothing about Wharton. They know nothing about Carter, so that's a little bit of a lie. 28 players on the books for Rovers right now, with 10 foreigners, 1 national team player, and an average age of 22.9 for Rovers, which, of course, is decreased since when Buckley was here, which is, of course, a strange old notion there. Of course, take a look at those players then. Of course, a couple of newer additions here to the graphic. We've got Leo Walstadt, of course, Ainsley Pears, former Borough man there, Joe Hilton waiting in the wings. James Hill comes in from Bournemouth on loan. What can he offer? Will we get to see him? He probably will be involved at some point, and it could even be featured on the bench for this game. We've got Dom Hyam injured last time around. Will he, again, recording this way ahead of time, early September, so I don't know. Hopefully he'll be okay. I think he should be okay. It was a knock that got him substituted in the last game. JRC O'Gwen, we're waiting on his recovery, and then, of course, a couple of other familiar faces. Into midfield we go then. Of course, Zach Gilson could be a feature there, and Arne Sigurdsson as well, edging closer to full fitness. Probably not going to be good enough to get into this, or not match fit for this one. He might be able to be on the bench, so that's what we're hoping for. This one, Sammy Smolich, Tronstad, Hedges as well. Up top, we've got Markandé, Gallagher, Niall Ennis, of course, looking to get him back, and of course, Simir Televic, of course, all eyes on him. How good is he? Is he anything? Is he a Gallagher, or is he whatever his name is, Santa Cruz, or what's the guy? Yakubu, there we go. Is he Yakubu? Can he rip it up? Of course, let's take a look at the goals then so far. This is the goals and the assist team. These guys who are creating the goals. Of course, Smolch up there with 3. Hedges, Gallagher, McInday, Leonard, Wharton and Travis. That's goals and assists combined. We'll break that down shortly once we get more goals. The players of the season so far: Ryan Hedges with 7.4 average. Smodic, Travis and Wharton up there with Dom Hyam. Make it the power 5, of course. Let's take a look then at some of the key stats. An average of a 6.96 performance so far from Rovers this campaign. 5 goals, 5 games played, 6 goals scored, 8 goals conceded. That's the stat there. That, of course, should paint a bit of clarity for the coaching staff. We need to get that figured out because, of course, we have been leaking goals. I think last season we were terrible at the back, even though, as in we might keep it tight with a 1-0 win or a 2-1 win or something like that. But sometimes when we lose quite heavily. And, of course, the goals are creaking in right now. Again, just 3 assists thus far. Average goals of 1.2 per match. We've hit the woodwork 3 times this season. Just 6 corners thus far. We have 1 red card thus far as well. Ball possession average around about 54% as well. And kept just the 1 clean sheet, which, again, gives us the opportunity for Walstadt to come in to change it up a little bit. Take a look at the resume for Rovers. Of course, the form is okay. It's a bit 50-50. Of course, we drew with Rotherham. We lost to Hull City. We bounced back with a 1-0 win over Watford. Big win that was. 8-0 win over Harrogate. Of course, they don't come around that often. And, of course, a 3-0 shit show against Plymouth Argyle. Then, of course, up ahead after this game against Boro is another home game against Sunderland. That will be the Tony Mowbray derby. And then it's Ipswich away, Cardiff at home in the Cup, and then Leicester, and then Coventry. Holy crap! There's a good old few toughies there for Rovers. This could shape our season. This one, having such a crunchy amount of games in such a short space of time. I don't even know who the weakest opposition is in this game, in this spat of things. And the cup distraction may or may not be a blessing. We'll see about that. Alrighty then, here is my lineup for you. A couple of surprises, perhaps. Welsh step between the sticks. He's got to come in now. I was waiting. Not that it was like watching a clock or watching a kettle boil. I saw this as the opportunity it would be if we were to do what we do or what happened this past weekend. I knew he would play in the cup against Harrogate. I knew it would be a decent opportunity for him to get in, and I knew Pears would be back. There was nothing he could do, even if he pulled off some backflips in that Harrogate game, he would not have been involved. So Pears came in, didn't really have the best game. I'm not going to hold him at fault, but it is just the time. It's now the time to let's give him a go. Give Welsh a go. We've give him 5 or 6 games, see where we're at, and then reassess. Pickering should remain at left back. You could, depending on Joe ranking Costello, put Britton on the left back, but not really my cup of tea. They've got Dom Hyam. I think he should be fine. Carter and Britton at right back for me. Maybe JRC again. And I think Britton, I like Britton. I think he's decent. JLC offer a bit more, I think, in creativity, and we need creators right now. Anyway, into midfield we've got Travis, Smodic, Wharton for me. On the left hand side, I'm going to go with Ennis. I'm going to go right side. We're going to go Edges, and I'm going to go Televic up top with Gallagher then on the bench, Moran on the bench. Who else do we have on the bench? A few others, perhaps Tronstad as well. But that's my lineup. Take a look at then at Middlesbrough coming at you right here, right now with Michael Carrick. Again, as of recording, coach, of course, is early doors September. Been at the club since is around approaching a year now, since October 2022. He's got a contract to 2025 with a points per match rate of 1.7. His record against Rovers is 1 for 1, 3 points out of a possible 3. Most valuable player? He could have been wearing a Rovers shirt. It's Lewis O'Brien, rallied around about £8 million. They have 35 players on the books, 14 foreigners, 6 national team players with an average age of 24.7. Of course, let's take a look at those players then, shall we? Of course, a couple of unknowns down there. We'll take a little look at those in a minute. They've got Deng between the sticks, Glover or Jones. Deng's not had the greatest start. Then into defence, you've got the familiar face, Darrell Lennon. We've got Rowan van der Berg. We've got Lucas Engel, of course. Dale Fry as well, and Paddy McNair. In amongst it. Take a look at the midfielders. We got the likes of Matt Crooks, of course, Lewis O'Brien in there. We talked about him already. Hayden Hackney. Sam Greenwood's coming in from loan from Leeds. And of course, up top, Marcus Foss. We got Lath, of course, who's supposed to be the Akpom replacement, you would imagine, and Morgan Rogers. And suddenly it just looks a little, I don't want to say this, but Akpom in this club would have definitely had your goal threat. And these guys are a little bit of mystery. Don't get me wrong, I do think these will all chip in with a good amount of goals this season for Middlesbrough. But the jury's out on a few of these guys, I would say. Let's take a look then at where the goals have come from. So Samuel Silveira is the main man, of course, in midfield. Again, these are goals and assists combined. It's still too early in the day to see who is the out-and-out goal scorer. Latith has got himself a goal. Hackney, Foss involved as well. Lewis O'Brien with a 7.10. He did make his debut this past match, of course, as did Greenwood coming off from the bench. And we'll talk about the team in a second. Of course, the stats for them: 5 matches played, 3 goals scored, 11 goals conceded. Semi-down between the sticks has some work to do, 2 assists. Look at the resume then, shall we, for Middlesbrough heading into this game. It's not been great, has it? 3-0 loss to Coventry back in the 12th of August. They picked up a draw against Huddersfield Town. That was at their place. 4-2 loss to West Brom at the Hawthorns. 3-1 win, though, over Bolton in the Cup. And, of course, a 2-0 loss to QPR at the Riverside. Meanwhile, heading out of this game and into the future, we do have Middlesbrough up against Sheffield Wednesday at Hillsborough before they take on Southampton in the league. Bradford City in the Cup. Very winnable game that. Watford away, and then Cardiff. Quick look at the lineup then, shall we? This is how I think Middlesbrough will line up. Deng between the sticks. We got Engel at left back, Lennon, Fry, and Jones. You could probably put McNair in there somewhere. Jones, I don't even know if he would occupy that right back spot. It's a debate. It's McNair, mate. I've seen him in there in some formations. Meanwhile, we got Foss on the left hand side, McCree on the right, O'Brien. We've got Greenwood and Howson in midfield with Latte up top. Again, there's a lot of ums and ahs and question marks about this team. There's a lot of options for Middlesbrough at the moment. I don't know if they know what their strongest team is. Let's take a look then at the recent run of events between these two sides. Of course, they have played each other 6 times in recent time. Rovers winning 3 of them. Middlesbrough just once and 2 draws as well. But last time around at Ewood Park, It was a 2-1 win for Boro. Foss and McCree on the score sheet there as Ryan Hedges gave us Rovers a lead, and of course a red card from Buckley. But prior to that, Rovers went on a nice run of 4 games unbeaten. If you want to look at the Ewood Park games, let's take a little look then, shall we? Of course, still looking pretty good for Rovers. Just lost twice, picked up 3 wins and 1 draw. Of course, Rovers just 1 defeat the past 4. Gallagher likes a couple of goals against these guys. So make sure he's involved in some capacity. Quick look at the home form up against their away form. Rovers winning 2 out of their opening 3 games at home, including the cup game against Walsall. But they did lose to Hull last time around. Meanwhile, Boro on the road, okay, 50-50. Again, a couple of away matches. They were in the cup, Huddersfield and Bolton. But of course, in the league, 2 for 2, conceding 7 goals and scoring just the 2 thus far. What can we expect then? Rovers' strengths are counter-attacks, chances through individual skill and stealing the ball from the opposition. Our weaknesses, though, finishing, scoring chances, avoiding offsides, stopping opponents from creating chances, defending against through balls, defending against skillful players, avoiding fouling in dangerous areas, aerial duels, defending set pieces, and of course defending long shots. Our style of play is attacking down the right. As for strengths for Boro, attacking down the wings, creating long shot opportunities, aerial duels, and protecting these. Weaknesses, avoiding individual errors and finishing, scoring chances. Their style of play is possession football, short passes, control the game in the opposition half, and non-aggressive. They do mix up their 11 though, and the forecast says Middlesbrough will score from a long shot and will dominate in the air. Of course, let's take a look at the values then for this team. Then Rovers 52.5 compared to 58.5 for Boro, and of course the E-market value is also a 2.17 for Boro, 1.94 for Rovers. Average age, 23.7 for Rovers, 25.7 for Boro. They've got more national team players, youth national team players, and foreigners. But of course, their form is just 2 wins in the last 10 games. Rovers 3 defeats past 10. Not too bad as well. Take a look at the grand scheme of things then. 41 times they've played just since 1995. 16 wins for Rovers. 11 wins for Middlesbrough. 14 draws. Our biggest win, our 2-0 win, scoring 38 goals though in 41 games. 0.93 goals game ratio. Up against Boro, 4-0 win, their biggest. 35 goals scored in 11 games. 0.85 goals game ratio. They're on 42% form, just 1 point on the board. 24th in the table. But a couple of wins in the last 6 games. Rovers on a 13th spot. 7 points on the board. 58% form, winning 3 of the last 6. The bookies have us at 9-5. They're at 6-4 for the victory, and 11-5 is the draw. Of course, let's take a look then at what's going on around the grounds. Of course, in the Championship, we've got Hull City commentary, Southampton, Leicester. That's of course on Friday. Norwich City, of course, Stoke, Bristol City, West Brom, Watford against Birmingham, Huddersfield against Rotherham, Sheffield Wednesday against Ipswich, QPR take on Sunderland, Preston take on Plymouth, of course, and Cardiff against Swansea, and all Welsh derby. And then into Sunday, we have Millwall and Leeds. The table looks like this, though. Middlesbrough, rock bottom of the row. A win for them, they could go up as high as 19th. Rovers are in 13th, and a win for us, we could go into 5th with a little bit of luck, and of course, a bit of a goal swing. That's, of course, the table. Preston are top, Ipswich are second, Leicester, Birmingham, Norwich, and Hull make up the top 6. Of course, going down though, Swansea, Sheffield Wednesday, and Boro at the moment. They've got top goal scorer right now is Adam Armstrong with 4 goals. Rose up there also with 4. Keane, Hardy, and 2 Fan as well. Then Godden, Adams, Bignell, Broadhead, and Sargent with the key assist maker being Whittaker, Patino, Manning, Wilmot, and Cafu. That's right. That's of course the rundown. It's of course my gut prediction. Gonna go with it. 1-0 win for Rovers. Take the 3 points. Get ourselves moving in the right direction. And of course, another busier week for Rovers as of course Sunderland are waiting in the wings. But until then, guys, subscribe, thumbs up, hit the little bell. Your non-stop shop for Rovers continues. We'll have extensive coverage of this game, a watch along. I doubt we'll have a pre-game though. We may have a vlog. We have also hopefully have fan reaction, and of course the aftermath, of course. But until then, guys, subscribe, thumbs up, hit the little bell. We'll see you soon for the next one.